friends. This is Sharon, Texture Junkies here, and welcome to another Makers Creative Collab. It is July, and our theme this month is Fly Me to the Moon, and that is a hashtag. This event is hosted by PM Artist Studio, and they also have a group on Facebook called the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists, so check that out for loads of inspiration and an amazing bunch of people. Please wait till the end of this video, which will be very quick, I promise, to click the box at the end, because this is a hop. It's like an art show. That's how I like to think of it, and there will be loads of inspiration and amazing artists, so give them some love, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you're not, and thank you for joining us. I really appreciate you. You can find me, Texture Junkies, on TikTok, which is new for me, Instagram, and Facebook, and obviously right here. So, I have my little goddess out here. I wonder what we're going to be doing. That was the hand, you know, like. So, this month, you know I had to do a goddess because I do a lot of goddesses. But I didn't just do a goddess, I did a sculpture book in a tin. So, I just took one of those $1 cookie tins from the Dollar Tree, you know, the ugly ones that have the little dry biscuits in it. And I created this box to house my sculpture book, or I can hang it, you'll see. What I did here was a whole lot of alcohol ink, gold leaf, there's gold embossing powder, and I made the moon with hot glue in a mold, and then rubbed pigment on it. However, when I did the embossing powder, it kind of melted my moon, and I kind of had to rework it. So it's a little different than the mold, maybe. I put copper foil, copper leaf on the stars. I've got loads of little bits and pieces here, and I just really had a good time with this. I've got a purple velvet trim around it, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do to the top of it. I might make a little pen holder, because I've got this gorgeous little gold pen that I found in a parking lot, and it's really old, and it winds up, it's just tiny. It's got a blue jewel on the end. So I'm kind of thinking that might be cool. So this is a work in progress. I left myself loads of doodle-tunities and collageability in this book. I did finish a couple of the pages, but technically it's a sculpture and I don't have to finish it at all, or I can put my favorite goddesses in here as I come across them in books and, you know, wherever. So I found this blue feather, probably from a Stellar J, on my trip recently, and I trimmed it down a little bit so it would fit in the tin, and it's perfect. Oh, I meant to hold this up for you so you can see. Loads of texture there. Loads and loads. I actually started with one of the, you know how I use the coffee, the coffee foil? I embossed one of them and did alcohol ink on it, and that is the very first layer. It was just a lot of fun. I kept fiddling with it because I felt like it needed more and it needed more. You know, it was one of those projects. So in here, I have this little bag. And this was part of my inspiration right here. And if you see this moth brooch, it actually has a little moon right there. And there's some stars. And I just think it's beautiful. I hung some little gold stars. And it was just from a, you know, like a, I don't know what they're called, a garland or whatever. And I had used it to spray paint over years ago and keep it in my spray paint box. And it just came out perfect for this. So use everything, you know? So in here I have a little bit of magic. I have some little gold stars. I have some moon water in a jar. It's just glitter and bubbles, really, and color. A little bit of moon water, and I sealed the jar. I have a rock that is shaped like a moon that I found on my trip recently. and a heart, because I didn't add a heart anywhere in here, and I almost always include a heart or a bird somewhere in my projects. And this one, I just didn't. It'll be a first for me, really. I have a moth. I mean, okay, so in here, I have this extra little clip, and you'll see why in just a moment, and I will show you that. I just wired on some stars. This is a piece of old broken jewelry, and that's actually a musical note, but I liked how curly it was. I kept the theme in here, a lot of circular shapes and a lot of curvy lines, because it just goes with it, you know. Here I have a tie on this, and it has a moon and more of the stars, and it just wraps around like that. And this was one of those bracelets on it was on a spring, and it would like pull your arm hair. I actually put a little knot in it right there so that I could add another charm if I wanted to, but I decided it didn't have to have it. But it actually is springy, because this will hang up. Give me just a moment and I will share this with you. I love her. I love her so much. I used a little bit of watercolor and painted her wrap. I used a circle punch on a piece of whatever paper and made a moon. And I love how she has her hands out. There's some stars. There's some, and you'll see that featured in this book as well. I had 3 different kinds of tissue paper that had like a pattern on it, and it also matches that, see? Okay, and here, this is special. I'm gonna call this a sculpture book. If you guys joined me in my live last Saturday, we made a different sculpture book, and it was kind of a sneak peek. There's a reason. This is actually from an old Bob Dylan poster. It was a concert poster, but it's a piece of artwork that's been around forever. The postcard was the poster, and I just cut it up. So this you can tie or don't tie. It doesn't really matter. I'll show you why in a minute. And I used that on the edge. I needed to use something soft. And if you want to see how I did this book, or one similar to it, it's not the way you think I put it together. Everything's folded in half and glued down, so it gives it a lot of weight and significance. Like it's heavy, and I love it. Okay, so in here, I used a lot of whatever kind of roll-offs from the gel plate, papers from my spray box, lots of papers that, you know, I wanted to find a home for. And I just cut out the circle using the tin lid to make a pattern. And I don't care if it's perfect. I actually went and I clamped it, and then I painted that edge like a very dark blue. Got a little trim on there. I actually continued her legs on this side before I decided to put this on here. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Just kind of, you know, went at it. Kitty, you gotta wait. Sorry. So this is the only pocket I put in here, and I'm probably going to write on this right here. I'm not really sure, but I wanted to see what a round pocket would do. Everything in here I kept very flat, because when you tie these together, let's get our spring out of the way, this turns into a moon. But that's what this clip is for also. So you put that on there. And this is actually being on the spring. It will bounce around if I hang it up. So you could make all kinds of sculpture books in any shape. And I just think that is so fun. And I turned this one into a moon. And everything is, like I said, very flat in here, so it doesn't create a lot of bulk, and it keeps the shape I want. I really need to tie that. But I'm not going to do it right now on camera, because I want to show you a few of these pages. So much collageability and doodle-toonities in here, seriously. That's just some scraps I had on my desk and threw together. I did use, that's Rhonda Donna's on tissue stencil from PM Artist Studio. There's loads of other stencils in here. I just kind of went around. She's got a moon in her hand. And, you know, all of these can be worked and fiddled with. And there's one that I haven't touched yet. This one I love, and that's 2 of the different kinds of, no, it's 3. Actually, I had 4 different kinds of gold tissue paper. I love it. It's got such a sparkle. She's got a feather, and she's a goddess. Obviously, these are goddesses. This is my tree stencil that you can find at pmartiststudio.com that I designed. There's mountains and a moon, and I added some gold stars with the stencil. And I went through and did some stenciling here and there all at the same time. This is hands touching. If you can see that. This is one that was in my spray box. I just left it alone for later, and that's a PM Artist Studio stencil. I love her too. She's just right out of an old magazine. I just thought she was cool. And then I took a white marker and did a bunch of little, you know, fiddling, and I had these clear sort of stickers. I don't use stickers very often, and I have some cool ones, and I need to use. There's some of my bubble paper that I did recently in a live, and then in a follow-up video. More that's from my spray box, and that's an old pattern. It's on a, you know, like the paper pattern that comes in the pack, and not the tissue pattern. Got some stars there and a moon. I absolutely adore her. This is PM Artist Studio. This is something that sent me a long time ago, and it's on like watercolor paper, and it was washers that they made and some circles. I love circles. Stamps. She's from an old book on that gold tissue. Love her. Once again, I punched that out, but there's going to be a trick here in a minute. I'll show you. That's one of my stencils, and it is actually the sun, and kind of goes with the moon, you know. There's another one from that same old book, some of that tissue paper. That is Fran's stencil that is like a shell in it, or nautilus, and it actually has a goddess inside of it if you turn it upside down. And that was on a gel print. You know, you've got those gel prints in between where you're just picking up the paint on your stencil, and it wasn't the main goal. That is from a different old book, and I just think they're beautiful. And I created sort of a circle right here, but I don't know what I want to do with it next. That is bubble paper. Spray box. Very ugly. I included pink for all the pinkies. I'm a non-pink usually, but that just turned out that color. There's another stencil with the sun in the middle. It's got planets around it on a pickup with one of my favorite PM Artist Studio stencils. The other half of that, something I just did a bit of stenciling on, and there's a stamp. There's that. Sorry, I know we're getting there, guys. There's a sun. I'm going to move through a little bit quicker here. Got a sticker there. Something I cut out. I really enjoyed my circle punch, and I did something here at the end I'm excited to share. These are Doodle Tunities. That's a goddess stencil, and I colored her in with a colored pencil. She's not done. I will doodle on her. I love this. And that was just a nothing paper. I just think it's cool. That is a PM Artist Studio stencil on a paper from my spray box. There's another goddess. Did add a butterfly there. Did a little coloring. That's a PM Artist Studio stencil and some tissue paper. This I might glue down and make like a tag, but I don't want a lot of bulk in here, so I don't think I want to add more than the one tag, so I'm not sure. Maybe a bookmark. That is something I cut out, and it's one of my favorite stamps with some gold ink on one of my bubble papers. There's more bubble paper, and then I did a bit of stenciling on it. That is one of my goddess stencils you can find at pmartiststudio.com, and I embossed her. It says, find your balance. I think those are the only words I added. There's a little texture paste. It's Nouveau Mousse on this, it's kind of a thick vellum. Another bubble paper, another bubble paper. We're getting to the end here, guys. It really did take a lot of them to create the moon shape and get it to keep its shape. Another bubble paper. That is PM Artist Studio stencil. I don't remember the name of it, but I thought it looked like a moon on that roll-off. That's started, not finished. And here we're getting to where I decided I wanted to punch. And there's a reason. See, I made a moon there, the way that worked out. And I just stamped a tree. I put that there so that it would show through the window. We're getting to my favorite page here. There's bubble paper, another piece of that. That is a true roll-off or a spray box. Bubble paper, there she is. We're getting to the end. She shows through that window. Those are some stamps, and it's on a piece of bubble paper. And then here, there's a moon once again, and I love her. I've been hoarding her for quite a while, and I'm pretty excited about her. And that is the end. So that is my moon goddess sculpture, and it's tin. Thank you. Oh, I almost forgot. I added this because I thought it looked like a star or a sun or whatever. Thank you so much for joining me. Please click the box at the end and we will see you soon. Enjoy the hop, you guys. Find inspiration. Bye.